Get planting with seeds and started sets from Nature's Garden World. Get a head start on your garden now. Nature's has seed potatoes and all seeds in bulk or in packets. Contact Nature's Garden World now for landscape projects, including lawn irrigation systems, to secure the best crew in the business. Nature's Garden World is now open 7 days a week. Call or stop in at Nature's Garden World, Highway 210 East, Fergus Falls, for everything for a beautiful summer.
This is Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. When you're thinking about a memorial for your loved one, I invite you to stop in and see our large selection of memorials on display. The memorial you choose is crafted for you right here locally with an everlasting warranty. That means it's perfect, now and forever, guaranteed. Call or stop into Fergus Falls Monument or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com. Memorials that matter.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Wednesday morning. It is 10 after 9 and 55 right now in Fergus Falls. It's going to be a gorgeous one there, Mary.
Oh, it's beautiful out. A little cool, so you could maybe use like a light jacket or something when you head out this morning. The last couple of days have made me feel like it's the middle of July, and I leave in, short sleeves, and then I get outside and I think, ooh, it's kind of chilly out here. So, yeah, little light jacket for the morning maybe.
I had to laugh. I came downstairs and Jen left one of the windows open for the cats.
I left two windows and I left the sliding door open last night.
Ooh.
And by the way, I left the garage door open. Just was not, I guess I was anxious to get to bed. I don't know.
But it was so chilly when I walked in. I was like,
sure.
Whoa. And she's like, yeah, but it's nice. And I'm like, it's 63 degrees down here.
See, I do kind of like that, though. I like when it's nice and cool for sleeping. Even when it's chilly outside, sometimes even when there's snow on the ground, I will crack a window in the
I'm all
bedroom.
for, it being, chilly when you sleep, but
yeah,
get up
but
and
to
move
get out, when you're getting up and you're, in the house, you want it to be comfortable.
Just get out of the shower and your hair's all wet. You don't want it to be 63 degrees.
No, you don't. That's right. Well, I think it was so nice, yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
I just kind of opened up everything. And as I went to bed, I've been laying there thinking, okay, so when do I make the change? Do I turn the heat off? Do I turn the air on? How do we do this now?
Our house heats up so much that I've had the air on the last 2 nights.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second floor just heats up so much.
Yeah, I don't know what the right, because I see next week, we could hit 90.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, like Sunday, I think Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are high 80s to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yuck. I don't like it. Way too early for that. And then it's going to be again in the low 60s.
Yeah.
So in that case, you kind of still need the heat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just a button.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm not there all the time. That's the problem. So I'm, but there's people in and out all the time. So if kids are going to hang out there, I don't want it to be freezing cold or boiling hot. So anyway, that's my, and if that's my biggest decision today, whether to heat or cool, I guess my day is pretty easy. So I like to think like that. Well, here it is. It's getting close to Mother's Day. So a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about maybe a couple of Mother's Day gift ideas. I'm going to tell you what I asked for. And I don't know if that will provide you any insight as to what to go out and get. But I think it's always good to hear what other people like getting. And so we'll do that. We'll talk about Mother's Day gifts. And if you are tuned in and you'd like to tell us what you would like or what you're getting, Mom, we won't use any names or anything, so we're not going to give away any secrets or any surprises. But
218-321-1926.
Yeah, we'd love to see a text from you. And
also, thinking about those Easter buffets, do you tip at a buffet?
Oh, that's right.
I mean, some of these buffets.
Mother's Day buffets.
Mother's Day
Easter,
buffets, yeah. Mother's Day and Easter buffets. You're.
What? Yeah, well, we'll talk about that on the back half of the show. So, hang around, and we'd love to hear from you. And, any day, whether we have a question or not, we'd love to take a look at our texts. So
218-321-1926.
All right, that sounds good. Well, today is the Real ID Day.
Yes.
And they are saying that they will not stop you at an airport if you don't yet have your real ID, at least for a time. Now, I don't know what the timeline is there. However, they say that you could potentially be taken off into a separate line, and you would be scrutinized a little bit more. They would need more, ask you some more questions, maybe need some more details on who you are and where you're coming from. And, they have that facial recognition now.
Yeah.
So when you check in for a flight, you show them your ID and sometimes your boarding pass, depends on what airport you're in. And then there's a little square thing out in front of your face, and you have to pause for that. And they take your picture, and then they take your identification and compare the two and the person standing there, of course. And then I suppose it comes up if you're on some kind of no-fly list or something. That facial recognition is frightening, I think.
Well, I did it once. It was a little different. You normally have to pay for it. I had a free trial of the pre-check pass something.
Oh, TSA pre-check, you mean?
No, it's not just TSA pre-check. It was
it's
like
just a pass.
It was a different thing that makes it's supposed to quote unquote make it go faster. And it went through faster through Minneapolis, but when we were coming back from Orlando, that line was slower than the regular line. And I'm like, how is this?
How is this better?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is that what it did? Is took a picture of you?
Yep, it took a photo of my face. Had go through the ID.
Okay, everywhere we checked in.
Smart scan.
From Fargo, Minneapolis, and Sarasota, they all had that. And that was just general boarding.
General boarding, and everybody had to do it?
Everybody did.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So as you're handing them your passport or your license or whatever your identification is, then you stand there and you get your picture taken right there. So I don't know what they call it, but in all the airports, 3 airports that we have, well, I take that back, add Phoenix, 4 airports.
Clear is what it was called.
Okay, just in the last, 2 weeks. All of those airports that we flew through had that scan of your face. So it didn't seem to take any longer.
Yeah.
And, it used to be, things have changed so much. And it's a little different depending on the airport you're at. So I can't say that this is across the board, but they're doing everything they can to make it go faster. Have you ever been in a line to go through security and the dog walks back and forth?
In Vegas, yeah.
Yep. So that happened in Phoenix, and we had to walk 2 by 2.
Yep.
And then the dog would kind of circle us.
Around, yep.
And then we would go through security. And it sounds like it would take forever, but it does not.
No.
The process was very fast and
Did they have fans going too?
I don't.
They had a bunch of fans,
that.
to keep any of the ambient smell away, and then as you walk through.
Okay, I didn't notice that,
Okay.
but anyway. So it used to be you always had to take your liquids out. You always had to take your shoes off. None of the flights I was on, the only one was Fargo that I had to take my shoes off. Everything else, leave your everything in your bag, your tablet, your phone, everything. Leave them in your bags. Leave your shoes on. You can even wear your jacket. I mean, it was seamless.
Wow.
Yeah. Because typically you have to practically undress, and you got to take your shoes off, and you got to take, if you've got a tablet or a Kindle or
Yep, you got to take it out. That's going to be separate.
You have to take that out. You have to put your phone in a special place, and you have to take the bag with the liquids. Nobody asks you to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's nice.
I know. So I'm not even sure you'd have to have that plastic bag anymore, but I always do. I always have it ready just in case.
Yep.
But anyway, it seems like there's different technologies, and maybe it's that facial recognition that gives them that added layer of security that keeps you from needing to jump through all those other hoops. I don't know. But anyway, it's an ever-changing process, that's for sure. And if you don't have your real ID, again...
Passport.
Yeah, a passport. I tell you what, getting a passport is so much easier, and maybe during this Real ID thing, maybe more people are applying for passports, so maybe it would take a little bit longer than normal. I know when we applied for ours, I think we had it in our hands in about 2.5 weeks. It didn't take long at all. So I would go that route, and then you have the choice of getting just the passport book, or you can get the passport card. I don't know, it's like $20 extra or something if you get the card. And it's the same size as your driver's license, so you can use it just like your license, and it's good for 10 years. So anyway, so today is that deadline, and of course it has caused long lines at government offices, but Homeland Security did assure travelers that additional identity checks would in fact allow them to fly, at least for right now. Real ID compliant identification is a federally mandated, more secure form of identification required for domestic air travel and also for accessing any federal buildings.
And again, the Luigi Mangione, his fake New Jersey ID was a real ID.
Oh, it was?
Had the little star and everything.
It did, and it was a fake ID.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So we're already ahead of that security.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. To obtain that real ID, you need documents showing your full legal name, date of birth, social security number, lawful status, and 2 proofs of primary residence. If you do not have a real ID, as I mentioned earlier, if you are flying soon, of course, if you have a passport, you're good to go. And you can, I think they're going to let you. They're going to let you through for, I mean, they've been warning us about this since like 2002 or something like that. So I don't know when they're going to finally say, that's it. If you don't have the real ID, you can't fly. Anyway, I guess we'll see how that goes. I'm glad I have my passport, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, the Supreme Court allowed President Trump's ban on transgender people in the military to proceed, though legal challenges, of course, continue. The policy disqualifies trans individuals from service, potentially leading to the dismissal of experienced officers. The court's liberal justices dissented, and multiple federal judges have ruled against that ban. But we're talking about the Supreme Court here now.
And I like,
isn't this the end all?
I like the argument. Well, you got qualified, people that are going to be dismissed. How about the COVID vaccine? How many people got dismissed there?
No kidding. Absolutely. Well, President Trump met with the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and they seem to get along pretty well. And I don't know if that's just what they're telling us, and behind closed doors it didn't go as well as they say, but it sounds like it went pretty well. And the Canadian Prime Minister walked away saying, I feel better about this whole deal. Mm-hmm. He did say, though, that he firmly rejected the idea of Canada being acquired by the United States.
I had to laugh because he goes, that will never happen. And Trump's like, well, never say never.
Never say never. Never say never. He said this. He said some things are never for sale. Canada will never be for sale. Anyway, Trump went on to say, we think it would be a wonderful marriage in terms of taxes and the economy. It would be a far better thing for Canadians. But anyway,
let it go.
Just let it. Yeah, he just had to get the digs in. But anyway, they came to the table. They seemed to get along well. And hopefully things going forward will be a little bit better. China is kind of starting to come to the table, too. And I think they see the writing on the wall that they have to play nice, or at least a little nice, with the United States. And I think we're going to see some things change there, too. Let's see. A recent study, we should be scared about this one. Recent study warns that approximately 10% of internal medicine docs in the United States are at risk of burnout and potentially quitting.
Oh.
Yeah, this is internal medicine people now.
That's your basic guys.
Those in the Western region facing a significantly higher risk. Understanding and addressing burnout in this group is crucial given the projected shortage of primary care physicians in the coming years. I think we're already seeing that. Do you realize when when you make an appointment to see a doctor, either you wait forever or you are not seeing a doctor. You're seeing a PA, you're seeing a nurse practitioner, both of which are great. And I don't mind seeing either one of them. A lot easier to get into them, but hardly anybody's seeing the doctors anymore.
And if you are going to see your doctor, I mean, I landed on one of the more popular doctors in town when he first started, and it's a 2-month wait.
Is it?
For like a regular wellness check, yeah.
Okay, well, and that's why, because I think the expense maybe has just gotten out of hand, and we're just not seeing a lot of people going that route anymore. Well, speaking of, all things medical and medicine, Rite Aid stores, which have been around forever, they have filed for bankruptcy for the second time, aiming to sell assets while keeping stores hopefully open for customers. Despite financial challenges, the company secured a $1.94 billion financing just to continue their operations. The pharmacy chain industry faces competition and plans to ensure a smooth transition for customer prescriptions to other pharmacies. So you will be able to get, stuff there, but probably not your prescription. Want. Yeah. And let's see, I guess that's all I had for you on the news front. There's a couple of funny stories in the news, which we'll touch on after the break. There is a mom whose phone got left, and the little boy knew how to get into her Amazon account.
Oh.
We'll tell you what he ordered and how much it cost when all those boxes arrived on their front porch.
And, of course, Mother's Day ideas and the D-Tip at brunch.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back on Morning Talk.
218-321-1926.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
You like saving money, right? Well, we've got great opportunities at FergusFallsDeals.com. Log on and check out all the products and services available. Great values and low prices. We've got great automotive specials like tires from Fergus Fast Lane, oil changes from Quality Toyota and Fergus Fast Lane, car washes from Wash and Go and Splash Express Car Wash, and auto body repairs from Unique Body Paint and Repair. Log on to set up your account now
at FergusFallsDeals.com.
Hey, Twins fans, it's Chris Atterbury. Join me alongside the great Dan Gladden as the Twins and the Orioles get together for Game 2 of a 3-game series. Our pregame starts at 6 tonight. 6:40 is the first pitch. Simeon Woods Richardson will deliver it as the Twins try to win a series from Baltimore and inch ever closer to 500. It all happens tonight. We invite you to join us right here on your home for Twins baseball.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guides to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
If shore lunches and backstraps are a main part of your diet, then we've got a radio show for you. Sporting Journal Radio. It's the Midwest's radio home for the outdoors. I'm Brett Amundson, and I'll get you caught up on the latest hunting, fishing, and outdoor information each week with tips from guides, biologists, and wild game cooks. Tune in to Sporting Journal Radio.
Catch Sporting Journal Radio Saturday mornings at 8:06 on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the new Fergus Now app on your phone.
Ready for a new career direction? Today's the day. Head to JobFest 2025 from 2 to 5 at Spiece Riverfront Park in Fergus Fergus Falls. Dress for success, bring your resume, and discover resources to help you succeed. Brought to you by Rural Minnesota SEP Career Force.
KBRFradio.com is your online home for News Talk 1250 KBRF. You'll find the latest in local and national news, plus sports, and you can podcast or stream live. That's at KBRFradio.com.
Check out FergusFallsDeals.com for food and drink in the area. We cover it all, and you can save money with places like BFW Post 612 in Fergus Falls, Garden Bar on 6th in Alexandria, Terrace Lanes in Wapaton, Old Town in Clitheroe, Perkins in Fergus Falls, Parallel 46 in Pelican Rapids, and Melby Outpost.
Got a lot of people shopping online and on the go
at FergusFallsDeals.com.
Unique farming operations need unique financial solutions. Ag Country Farm Credit Services offers customized financing that fits any size farm, ranch, or agribusiness. The next time you're in the market for more land, equipment, facilities, or maybe even an operating loan, contact the team at Ag Country. They know agriculture and will work for you. Ag Country. Focused on ag, focused on you. Ag Country is an equal opportunity lender.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets continue to trade mixed. Wheat is trading lower, soybeans trading higher, corn trying to hang on to some gains here right now, trading a fraction to a penny and 3/4 higher here. Comstock Investments analyst Joe Camp says improving weather and news headlines continue to drive these markets.
Improving supply side estimates for this U.S. winter wheat crop because of the recently better weather conditions throughout the southern plains, but generally across the Midwest and soft red wheat country as well. You can see that in the crop condition ratings, and then paired with the forecast like it is, which is mostly clearing up, but some sunny skies to help development. We have that source of pressure on the market to kind of dampen what is otherwise the bullishness about demand coming from those trade talk reports.
And Camp says the livestock market's taking a bit of a breather here today.
Hogs ran into some technical pushback up near $100. You have the new all-time highs to speak of again for cattle futures this week, but also possible some technical divergence, seeing the momentum studies possibly start to slow down. The board has done work to converge upward towards the cash market, and it could still be that we've got more of that to go. But yet, since the June is up next and there's still plenty of time in that contract, it shifts us into more of a wait and see.
You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
I am married to a farmer, and I worry about him constantly. He is under so much stress with the weather and low prices. I don't know how to help him, and it was starting to affect my health too. After talking with my pastor, I realized that in order to support him, I have to take care of myself. I now talk with a counselor regularly and have learned ways to support him as well as keeping myself healthy.
You add the value to North Dakota agriculture. This effort is associated with North Dakota's State Suicide Prevention Program.
Imagine having more days of perfect weather, a combine that's more powerful, or even more soybean bushels per acre at harvest. With Revitec fungicide, you don't have to imagine that last one, because it's proven to deliver up to 9.5 more soybean bushels per acre than the competition. With results like that, it's easy to see why Revitec fungicide is the #1 recommended fungicide by soybean farmers. Visit Revitec.com and talk to your BASF retailer today. Always read and follow label directions.
This is Red River Farm Network farm broadcaster Jamie Dickerman. Join us for special reports from the Washington Beltway. We'll be at USDA and on Capitol Hill for the latest on tariffs, the Farm Bill, and regulations. This coverage made possible by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, Minnesota Farmers Union, South Dakota Farmers Union, Associated Milk Producers Incorporated, NDFB, and South Dakota Farm Bureau. On air and online, the Red River Farm Network is reporting agriculture's business.
Don't miss the dry bean scene every Friday at 12:35 on the Red River Farm Network. Specialty crop markets are special and require more digging than corn, soybeans, and wheat. We do that digging by talking with numerous crop scouts, growers, and processors in the North Harvest region or wherever beans that affect local markets are grown. So follow the dry bean scene every Friday at 12:35 on this Red River Farm Network station. The dry bean scene, brought to you by the North Harvest Bean Growers Association. July wheat in Minneapolis down 3.5 cents, 6.07. Chicago July wheat's down a penny. Kansas City down 5 3/4. July corn now unchanged, 4.55.5. December corn's up 2 1/4, 4.43.5. July soybeans 6 1/4 higher, 10.47.5. November soybeans 10 1/4 higher, 10.29.5. In Winnipeg, July canola $8.40 a metric ton higher at 702.20 Canadian. June live cattle down 50 cents, 213.17. October down 22. August feeder cattle down 55 at 298.57. September's down 45 cents. June hogs down 22 cents at 97.35. July down 12. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Join the team at Easy Open Garage Doors. They're hiring a full-time service tech in Fergus Falls. Paid training, great benefits, and no weekends. Call 701-235-2802 to apply. Start your next career move today with Easy Open Garage Doors.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Celebrate Mom with a gift for her garden. The market has charming rain gauges and garden stakes, painted butterflies, hummingbirds, and more to brighten her day. The Market, downtown Fergus Falls.
Who knew going to the market could be so much fun? The Market.
I once booked a venue that was a logistical nightmare. Too far from the hotels and too hard to find. It made our entire event feel rushed and stressful. That's when I decided to try the Bigwood Event Center. Being right off the interstate and a hotel on site, it made travel easy for everyone. They took care of all the setup and cleanup, letting me focus on my presentation instead of the details. It made our event run so much smoother, and I'll never go back to the old ways. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
Celebrate Mom and grow something beautiful this Mother's Day with Nature's Garden World. Gorgeous, hardy hanging baskets start at just $21.99. And you can mix and match colorful wave petunias, only $15.99 for a 6-pack. Plus, the store is blooming with gift ideas for Mom's home and garden. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 5, and Sunday, 2. Even Mother's Day from 11 to 5. Nature's Garden World on Highway 210 East, Fergus Falls.
There's lots of gear to help you fish, but make sure you pack your guides in your tackle box. Listen to Todd and Phil from PT's Guide Service during Gone Fishing, presented by Frontier Marine and Power Sports. Gone Fishing helps you land more fish by letting you know the techniques that are working on area lakes. Listen in as PT's Guide Service shares a boatload of experience. Gone Fishing can be heard right here every Friday afternoon at 5:25, presented by Frontier Marine and Power Sports. Listen in this Friday and let people know you've gone fishing.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. Going through today, topping out around 70, sunny skies, winds on the east at about 11, gusting 18 tonight. Down to 42 for our low, nice clear skies. 75 on Thursday, 81 on Friday, 80 Sunday, 86 on Sunday. Mother's Day, 86 degrees. That's going to be a hot one for Mom. At 59 right now in Fergus Falls. And speaking of Mother's Day, we're talking Mother's Day. 218-321-1926. 218-321-1926. Got to make sure that everything is on. Everything is on.
Okay, I was doing a little shopping, just not really shopping, just looking during the break to see what some other things might be in terms of a good gift idea for Mom. You know, and something I just looked at, which I think would be a good idea, and I actually want this. I want some new furniture for my front porch. And really what I want is just 2 comfy chairs.
We got on our deck when Jen's aunt passed away. She gave us, a couple of couches, and they're the wooden frame couches with the cushions. And so we kind of converted those to outdoor couches. So they're kind of the outdoor stuff
I'm kind of looking, I want one that either reclines so that you have a footrest.
Yeah, these don't.
Or the kind that are like a chair, but your footrest fits right underneath the chair, so you can just slide it out and you have a footrest. I just don't want to put any of those kinds of things together because we don't do that. We don't put stuff together.
Well, you can buy it and have your grandkids put it together.
Well, you could do that too. But so I'm looking for just a comfy chair. I have the cutesy white rocker chairs out on my front porch, and they're really cute.
Mm-hmm.
But they're terrible. They're so uncomfortable.
Jed got me a couple years ago. I mocked it because I'd seen them, but I didn't like it. Oh, these things are a mess. And it's those kind of like 0G chairs.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of kick out and they're kind of like, kind of like a lounger.
I feel like I never get those in the right spot and they don't stay where they're supposed to. And
the one Jen got me, I absolutely love.
Okay.
And then I got her one.
I think you got to get a good one.
You can't go cheap on it.
Right. So that you can sit up.
Yep.
But then you can just lean back, and then there is a lock, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You sit there and just twist the things, and it locks it into place.
Okay, but I agree with you. You got to get a good one.
Get a good one. Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, those are a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of patio furniture that's available that you can buy right off the floor here, right in town.
Yep.
So that's a good idea. Here's the thing that I really want. I love to ride my bike.
Yep.
But we go on kind of longer rides. And so I want that little fendery thing, I don't know what you call it, that it's attached and it's got bars that go down the side of your tire and it attaches to your tire. And it provides like a spot to set like a bag or something back there. And it goes over your back tire.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually, attach it to your bike. And then I want the bag that goes with it. And it's like a square bag that fits right on that little fender deal. And things, when you go for a longer ride, you might have some snacks. You might pack a light jacket. You might throw your phone back there. Those kinds of things. Those are the 2 things I really want.
My phone and everything, I've got my seat opens up to a storage compartment.
Oh, that's handy.
And then if I need, like back when I used to bike up at Glendale, I used a backpack.
I do have a backpack too. If it's hot though, I don't like wearing that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if it's too hot, I just don't go bike riding. But I just think it would be really handy, especially when even if you get on the trail and you ride to Dalton.
Yeah.
Kind of nice to have. Maybe you've got a granola bar and a bottle of water or something. Although I do have a water bottle holder, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it would be handy sometimes, too, when you're on your bike. They have those little pockets that you can attach right to your handlebars, and you can slip your phone in there, and it's clear so you can see if your phone rings, and then you...
I got a smartwatch, so I just look.
Yeah, true, and I don't have that. So that would be kind of handy. I don't want to add too much garbage to my bike, but I think it would be handy to have that little pack. And so that's one of the things that are on my kind of want list. And typically I got flowers for my window boxes or a gift certificate to go buy flowers. And we have so many good deals on our marketplace here and
Fergus
Falls Deals. And so I've been buying those. And so I said, well, you don't have to get me flowers because I already got the great deal, Fergus Deals. Yeah. So anyway, so there's a couple of ideas. I always like books. I love to get a book. And sometimes that's kind of hard if you don't know what kind of books your mom might like to read. I can highly recommend books written by Kristen Hanna. And if you, I've recommended this one before, but if you haven't read it, it's called The Women, and it's about women who were nurses in the Vietnam War. And it is a very, very good book. In fact, that book made me start reading Kristen Hanna, and I think I'm now on my 8th or 9th Kristen Hanna book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I can recommend that. I know you've got that author you always talk about, the
Jess Laurie
books. Yeah.
Yep, Jess Laurie with the Murder by the Month. You can get those at the Victor Lundin Company.
Okay.
Highly recommend that series. My mom absolutely loved it. It was torture because she released them like once a year.
Oh, and you had to wait for the next one?
When she got caught up, and she started at the beginning because when Jess Laurie started out, I interviewed her and she sent me a promotional copy, or 2 promotional copies, like one for me to keep and then one to give away. And so I gave that to my mom, and she really got into it. So like every year for like the next 11 years, she would get a book.
And if you don't know who we're talking about, the cool thing is she talks about Battle Lake.
Yeah, the Murder by the Month mystery series is set in Battle Lake. I mean, that's where it's at. So she lived in Battle Lake for a little bit, but if I remember right, she's in Alec now. Alec or the Minneapolis.
Okay.
Because it's been a while since I've interviewed her.
Okay.
But,
and
yeah, really good.
I think moms would like that, and of course you can buy those here locally. So that's great. Those gadgets for the crock pot that I mentioned earlier.
Those are nice.
I tell you, I've ordered 2 more sets since we talked about it, and I just have them on hand for kind of fun little, gifts or, and I think they were $17 or $19, so they weren't super expensive, but I tried them in my crock pot, and it's pretty handy.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Well, when it comes to Jen, I know one of the things she wants to do is go golfing with the boys.
Okay.
She's kind of got into golf here these last couple of years, and so she's like, I want to go golfing with the boys, so that's what we're going to do.
And, the cool thing about when she gets into golf, then there are some things that you can get her, you know. You can add to her set of clubs, or you can, get her the accessories or even some golf clothes or... so there's lots of things, or certificates to different courses.
Courses, yeah.
Because it's fun to get around to different courses, don't you think?
It really is. And we had one person text in, my ideal Mother's Day gift is to getting to play tennis with my family on Mother's Day. So kind of the same thing with Jen. Instead of playing golf, this individual likes to play tennis.
I know my daughter and her family, last Mother's Day, everybody went golfing, and they just had a great time, and then they came to the cabin afterwards. So that was a win-win for me. And because I get it when, your adult children, they're moms too.
Yeah.
And they should get to celebrate with their own families and not just be,
Well, we're kind of celebrating
to me.
Celebrating in the morning with my mom, and then it kind of turns to Jen in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. We'll probably do something similar to that, but...
But anyway. 321-1926, 321-1926, what are you doing for Mother's Day? And, do you... have anything you want.
Yeah. Well, and I know there will be a lot of moms who will say, oh, I don't need anything. And we probably don't.
It's a trap, guys. It's a trap.
Yeah. Usually if mom says, oh, don't get me anything, she doesn't really mean it. Yeah.
She means she didn't like your gift last year, and she doesn't want a repeat of what you gave her.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm kind of all about practical things. And you know what? Some moms like flowers, cut flowers.
Yeah.
Some moms like plants that they can put in the ground.
Yeah.
I know, like I said, for years, the plants that I needed for my window boxes, it gets kind of expensive, to go out and buy those. So that's really a nice gift. Or maybe just a potted hanging plant that you can enjoy all summer long.
Yeah, those are good.
That's kind of fun too. I just can't wait. I haven't been to any of the greenhouses yet, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that the rest of this week, and I usually end up making 5 or 6 stops. I feel like, oh, this is all I need, and I think, oh, 2 more basil plants. I just need 2 more basil plants. So, but I hate to get stuff too early. Yeah. Because then, then you got to you have to water it like twice a day when it's in those tiny little pots, But you can't really put it in the ground either.
No.
Let's see, what else?
321-1926, 218-321-1926.
Can you think of other things that you've given Jen that have been a hit?
One of the things I did last year, I made for my mom, and I'm still working on Jen's, is I made this neat little... Flower pot holder. It's kind of a stand. It says welcome on the front, and below it you put a hanging plant.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Turned out pretty nice.
Okay, cool things like that.
Let's see if I can't find a photo.
Yeah, so if people like, stuff outdoors in their yards, let's see what else. I've talked about this coffee mug 100 times, and I think I gave 12 of them for Christmas. And everywhere I go, in fact, just this last week, somebody said, "Wow, does your whole family have those coffee cups?" Yep, they do, because I gave them to everybody. But wherever I go, people say, "Oh, what is that?" And then I tell them about it, and pretty soon they have one too. So the brand name on it is Fellow, Fellow. If you'd like to grab something like that. Awala water bottles are another favorite of mine. It goes, for me, it depends on how I'm going to use it, between that and the Stanley one with the straw. Those are my two favorites. I don't know. Somehow moms never get enough water bottles, and I don't know why that is.
I think they lose them.
Maybe we lose them. You know what I do is I drop mine an awful lot.
Oh.
I know. And I will say that the Stanley, I think, holds ice longer and better than the Awala. And maybe it could just be I'm having some trouble with my ice maker at home. It's a water issue, so my ice cubes are coming out kind of hollow. And so, hollow ice doesn't last very long. So maybe that's the whole deal in my water bottle.
That'll shoot through real fast.
Yeah, it does go away fast. So anyway, let's see. I'm trying to think of some of my other favorites. And I know it's too late for this, but for Christmas, my daughter and her husband and family got us custom-made beanbag boards.
Okay.
So they have where you can custom make the artwork that goes on your board. And ours says cabin number 6 because we're the cabin number 6 of the old Log Haven Resort. So we have these customized beanbag boards. They're really cute. In fact, I just loaded them in my car. Going to take them to the lake today and get ready to play beanbags. I've been looking at them in the garage since Christmas, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But maybe some ideas like that, something custom made.
And speaking of custom made, here is that look at that the flower pot holder that I did last year for Mom.
Okay.
That is real easy to make, and just took, I don't know, probably a couple hours and knocked it out. And Jen used the Cricut for the welcome, and it worked really, really well. So that's always an idea. My mom loves custom-made stuff.
I'm trying to think of some other things I have gotten that I've really liked. There's always the things, and it kind of depends on who you're getting it for. So say you're getting it for an older person who might already have every single thing they need. Then I think it's important to get them something that's consumable. So maybe it's lotions or soaps or, maybe it's food items that they love. Something that they can consume and then it's done and it's gone. It's not more stuff to stack,
Not only more stuff to stack, but I mean, experiences also work. I mean, like the one individual tennis, Jen golf.
I love that idea. Yeah. Yep. Take Mom out to do something that she loves to do. Yeah. Maybe she loves to fish. Well, this weekend is the fishing opener. Yep. So that's a good thing to do there too. So hopefully we've given you a few ideas. And, right here in Fergus Falls, if you're tuned in from Fergus, we've just got some great shopping in our downtown. Lots of little boutiques and where you can get just about everything. Socks. I don't know about you, but I love fun socks.
Yeah.
That's an idea.
When we travel, we gotta get kind of those novelty socks for Mom. We got her some cool ones from Vegas, from Nassau.
Yeah. The other thing that I love having is some kind of just light jacket or, like a cotton sweater, kind of just something light that kind of works with a lot of things, gray or black maybe, that you can wear with everything. One of those pieces that you toss in the car every time you go somewhere. And you've always got sleeves, then you've always got something that's just a little bit warm if it gets chilly. For this time of year, it's kind of nice to have those light jackets, so that might be an idea too. I love things like that. So Anyway, get out, shop. We've got so many places right here in Fergus Falls for you to do that. How about gift certificates to Mom's favorite place to eat?
That's a great idea, too.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we have here on Fergus Falls Deals.
Yeah. So you should do some shopping on Fergus Falls Deals because there's
if you're
some good stuff.
And if you're looking for a spot to take Mom, check out Where to Eat.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
to KBRFradio.com, click Where to Eat. Zach and I are all over the place.
Okay, what's the most recent episode and where were you?
The most recent episode was, I feel bad because we had a little bit of an audio issue, so the audio isn't the best, but we went back to the Purple Palace because it is now...
in Vining.
Yes, it is now actually the Purple Palace. It's always been the Vining Palace, but everybody called it the Purple Palace.
Okay.
The new owners changed the name to Purple Palace.
Okay,
They
I love
redid
it.
the inside. They redid the menu. They went back to the old original chicken recipe for the roasted chicken, and we tried some of the new dishes there. That was really, really good.
Okay.
Past ones that we've done the one before that was Whitey's down in Herman. We've done.
Oh, my goodness.
But if you're looking for higher end, Spanky's, Parallel 46, Zen's, Stella's, we've hit them all. So
Boy.
Blackboard. I mean, we've.
You know, Blackboard is someplace we have gone twice. One time, we didn't know that you had to have a reservation,
You have to
and
have
I
a
think it's a
reservation.
really good idea. And the next time they were having a private event, so we've gone there twice and not been able to eat there either time. So still haven't been to Blackboard, and that's kind of out in the neighborhood when we're at the lake.
And it's funny, though, because one thing that she mentioned when we were talking to her goes, you know, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so if you drive out here, you're driving out here to come here. So check to see if you need a reservation before, and check to make sure it's not a private event.
I think that is a good idea because it is a bit of it's a bit of a hike out there.
It's
from
the middle
here.
of nowhere.
It is in the middle of nowhere. We know that middle of nowhere pretty well because it's out by the lake and it's out by where we have some friends that live in that kind of neighborhood, if you will. And so, and the bike trail goes past there too.
Yep.
So I guess you could make a reservation and ride your bike there if you wanted to.
Yeah, but that's another great place where we've done an episode.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've got a lot of high-end places around here that we've done.
Okay.
So
I heard good things about Parallel too.
Parallel 46, that is a really good restaurant. For those who don't know the story of Parallel, it was created, it's the old Cormont Village. So
Yeah,
if you're-
Cormorant Inn.
Cormont Inn, yeah.
Mhm.
And it's the former manager and the former bar manager of Spanky's, and
right.
one of the head waitresses of Spanky's are kind of like the
Okay.
three people in charge of that. And they started their own thing.
Yeah. Well, I've heard great things about it.
Great
so.
food there.
Okay, so that's always, taking Mom out to eat. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on Mother's Day.
No, just
Give
figure
her
out
that
whenever.
gift certificate, and then, then you get to enjoy some time away with Mom, too. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we've given you a few ideas. And, if nothing else, dark chocolate, always a favorite. I'll take dark chocolate anytime. And if maybe Mom drinks wine, maybe a nice bottle of wine. I don't know. So, but lots of ideas out there, but just don't forget Mom.
Yep.
Especially don't forget her if you're off fishing someplace.
Yeah.
Maybe take Mom along fishing because I know there's a lot of moms who love to fish. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up on a Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Our show today and every day is brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great Wednesday.